Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bob Stoops app. I'm Brad McMullen, along with Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops, as we head into week number 13, a monster game right here at the Palace on the Prairie between Oklahoma and Missouri. But before we get there, we got to talk about the homecoming game in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where Oklahoma defeated number 4 Alabama, and what an amazing game, 23-21.
It was an exciting game, and you got to give it to the Sooners. Just to play a clean, good football game. You get a pick six. That's a big deal. Usually you're going to win 9 out of 10 times you get a defensive score. But limited the penalties that have been plaguing us before, so we didn't get behind the chains. Offense did enough. Defense was sensational. But all of it together, you play a clean game, no turnovers. I don't believe we had a turnover. And that's how you win a 2-point game at somebody's homecoming like Alabama. And so proud of our guys. And, this sets us up now for an exciting finish.
Talk about Brent Venables dialing up on defense, just his calls, when he did pressure, when he did not do pressure. It was like he was in the head of Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. He coming from wide field, short field, coming up the middle with blitzes. Changing it up, guys standing in there and then falling out. So he really made it difficult for their quarterback, and it showed, and I'm with you. I think Brent calling the defense has been a huge plus for this season, and hopefully it'll just continue here down towards the end.
And one thing that has remained constant in the Brent Venables era, when he wins the turnover battle, he is undefeated. Oklahoma did that on Saturday against Alabama. And again, OU had a lot going into that game where most everyone thought they would lose. It was Alabama's homecoming. OU felt disrespected in that, and they said, we've got to prove it on the field, and they did just that.
Yeah, it's that's what you have to do. You go into their homecoming, and you see why. Alabama had been playing really well, and you got to go in there and play a good, strong, clean football game. I keep saying clean because of the taking care of the ball, limiting your penalties, not getting behind the chains, playing smart football, great pressure defense. They put pressure on their offense all day long, and at the end made the key plays to win the game.
And when you win big games like that, the stage keeps getting bigger and bigger. You saw that with Tennessee, and now you've seen that with Alabama. Oklahoma returns to play Missouri this week. They are now in the college football top 10. Number 8 in the coaches poll, number 8 in the AP poll. They're a lock for the college football playoff if they win out, but you got to win the games.
Yeah, you got to win out. And nothing looking to the future other than this Missouri. Saturday. That's all. Missouri's all that matters. Be at your best Saturday, early game, 11 o'clock game. Be your best. And that's all that needs to happen right now. Have a great week of practice, and I'm sure they're focused on that. And be prepared for Missouri and give them your best shot. And then things will, then you go on to the next one after that. But that's all they need to worry about.
And this is strength on strength, Oklahoma versus Missouri. Missouri has one of the best rushing attacks in the country, 6th in the nation. And let's talk about that running back, Ahmid Hardy. He had 300 yards rushing, not this month, last week. 300 yards rushing, 25 carries, 3 touchdowns. This guy is awesome. 15 touchdowns on the season, nearly 1,400 yards rushing, going against the top rush defense in the SEC, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Missouri, you got to give it to them. Coach Drinkwitz, their staff, they've run the football well every year. And so this year, again, one of the top rushing offenses in the country, for sure in the SEC. So this will be a big challenge. And it's not just, it's their play design. They do a really good job scheming up the run game. So this will be a huge challenge for the defense here.
Yeah, and according to CBS Sportsline right now, they believe that you could see a return of the Missouri quarterback that's been out the last few weeks with an ankle injury. That would be a big bolster, obviously, the offense of Missouri to allow them to keep Oklahoma not one-dimensional focused on defense.
Yeah, we'll see, where that goes. But, to me, the number one thing is their running game, rushing attack. That's where OU needs to really be great. And if they are, regardless of who's at quarterback, you got a better chance.
Yeah, and Missouri, of course, has played a tough schedule in the SEC, 7-3 on the season. They've dealt with a lot of injuries, again, at the quarterback position. But one thing that would bring their season out and make it huge is if they could come to Norman, Oklahoma, and beat the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, well, we're sitting here at 8-2. They're 7-3. This is a big game for both teams. No doubt about it. So again, to me, it's OU just concentrate on being your best.
And one thing that the Sooners will have here is an active crowd at 11 a.m. Coach, you talked about when you went to Kansas State, you came back for Nebraska. This was a different environment when the fans were like, okay, you did your part. We're going to do our part.
That's very true. I'll never forget that Nebraska game and how rowdy and crazy our fans were. And then again, we gave them something to get rowdy about, as the game went on. And makes a big difference. So I'm sure our fans are excited. The position we're in right now, come do your part, be loud, get involved in the game, and be a big part of this weekend.
All right, and just talking about the predictions right now, the All-State playoff predictor, if Oklahoma were to win the next two games, 94% chance of getting to not only get in the playoff, but to host a playoff game. And some of those teams that are being thrown out there, again, these are the playoffs. This is the computer talking, not any of us. You see teams like Notre Dame. You even see a potential rematch against Alabama. And depending on who wins between USC and Oregon, the USC Trojans could be coming to Norman, Oklahoma.
Nobody would be.
No.
Nobody'd be ready for that, would they?
No, not at all.
Let's not worry about all that.
Right.
To me, the football coach in me, I'm just thinking about Missouri this weekend.
All right, Missouri and LSU, the last two games of this year. We lost both of them last year. Missouri's coming to town. They'll be a 9.5-point underdog. Let's start picking this game. Coach, how do you feel about Oklahoma?
Well, again, you got to go. I'm going OU always, you know that. But again, our defense, the line of scrimmage, the way we've been playing up front, we got to be able to limit their rushing attack, get pressure to the quarterback, continue to play like we have, and again, play a clean game with penalties and turnovers.
Yeah, I think Missouri is a very good football team, but again, I think it goes back to the strength of Oklahoma. They can stop the run, they can stack that box and control that line of scrimmage, and if they do that, it's going to be very good. I love Oklahoma at home, and I think it goes back to what you said. This crowd is going to be electric on Saturday morning.
I got to think this whole town, the crowd, the players, the staff, everybody, this is what we want. We wanted these important big games, and here we got one right here at home.
That's exactly right. All right, let's talk about some of the other games out there. USC traveling to Oregon. Oregon 9-1 on the season, but their best win was against Iowa that has now fallen out of the top 25. This is an Oregon team not necessarily proven. USC, though, has faced Michigan and beat them, and also beat that Iowa team. Coach, Oregon is favored by 10 points over the Trojans. Your thought?
Wow, that's
a lot of points.
That's too many points in my opinion, because they've been in tight games. I can't think of what they just did this weekend.
Iowa.
Yeah, they're in a tight game with Iowa, and bottom line, I'm going to go with SC in the points. Though being at Oregon, I believe Oregon will win just because it's there. But it'll be tighter than that, I think.
I agree with you. I think that Lincoln Riley is going to have his team ready. They're going to travel well. I don't see them winning the game, but I definitely see them coming under that 10 points. All right, Arkansas at Texas. The Texas Longhorns had that big game against Georgia where they just did not do well, falling by 25 points. Texas favored by 11 points at home against Arkansas. This is another one, Coach, that I think this is a lot of points for an Arkansas team. I know they've only won 2 games, but they've been in a lot of the games they've
been in about every game.
Yeah.
Tight. Texas has escaped some tight games in overtime. So I'm kind of with you, but I'm thinking being at Texas, they got something to prove after that bad showing a week ago. I'm going to go with Texas.
Again, favorite team's Oklahoma. Second favorite team, anybody playing the Texas Longhorns. Go
What am
Hogs.
I doing? I can't take. I'm changing my pick.
You're picking.
I lost track.
You like Arkansas on the points, right?
Yeah,
there
that's
you
right.
go.
That's
All right,
what it
change
is.
It. All right, a team that has been red hot. Your brother's teams. You're talking about the Kentucky Wildcats. They've now won 2 straight. A big win last weekend. Of course, they're at Vandy. 8-2. They have been awesome. Pavia has been awesome at quarterback. This is an 11-point spread. I like Kentucky in the points, but I see Vandy winning at home.
Well, I'm going to go, of course, with Kentucky points, but I say they win outright.
There you go.
Yeah.
That change in quarterback has meant a lot to that program.
It's really given them a boost, definitely.
Because that was the thing I saw is that Kentucky was playing sound defense. They just were not moving the football. Now they're starting to move the football. That game should be really, really interesting. And again, in the SEC, anything can happen. Pittsburgh played Notre Dame. Their coach famously said it didn't matter if we lost by a bunch of points. They did lose by a bunch of points. The game that mattered the most to him was this week against Georgia Tech. This is for all the marbles if they want to try to get in to the ACC championship game. Georgia favored by 2 points. Georgia Tech favored by 2 points against Pittsburgh. I like the home team in this one.
Yeah, that's what I'd go, just because it's at home. If it was at Pitt, I'd go with Pitt.
Yep.
Similar type teams. Georgia Tech escaped a tight one this past weekend. So, and being at home, they're doing a good job there. I'm going to go with Tech.
And I think escaping the tie one, they know how to win. They're 9-1 on the season. Who would have ever thought Georgia Tech would be 9-1 after 10 games? I like them because they're going to be at home. They're going to be amped up for this game. And also Pittsburgh took some lumps there against Notre Dame physically.
Yeah, that can't give you a boost when you get beat up a little bit like that. No matter what was said, they got handled pretty decently. So that doesn't give you a lot of momentum going into this game.
Yeah, I still don't understand why game day was there and not at Alabama, Oklahoma. All right, BYU at Cincinnati. BYU looked really good last week, 9-1 on the season. At Cincinnati, 7-3. Cincy was in the top 25 last week. They lost on Saturday. BYU favored by 1 point on the road in this one.
Wow, that's amazing, 1 point. But BYU has played really strong.
Really good.
I'm gonna go with BYU just because they got those older players. They've been playing well. I'm gonna go with BYU.
Yeah, I think too much is on the line for BYU. I like that pick, BYU winning on the road. All right, our final game of the week. This one has some history in it with Coach Stoops. We're talking about Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee is on the road at Florida. If anybody can actually tell me which Florida Gator team is going to show up, the one that dominated Texas, the one that lost by 30 points to Kentucky, that would help us handicap this game a little bit better. Tennessee, a very good football team. They won impressive against New Mexico State last week. Tennessee favored by only 3 points on the road at Florida.
That tells you something, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to go with the Gators. I was fortunate to beat Tennessee a couple times down there in the swamp, and so I think Florida will show up. They're a prideful program. They've been bruised up, getting beat bad. A week or two ago, from Kentucky, they'll have something to prove.
Yeah, I think Florida's going to show up. I think they're going to play really, really hard, inspired football, much like you saw in the biggest cocktail party against Georgia where they played really well. I just think Tennessee's a better team. I like Tennessee going and winning this game, but it's going to be close into the fourth quarter, definitely a possession game. But I like Josh Heupel and Tennessee winning that contest. Again, the big game, the marquee game, Oklahoma hosting Missouri. This is 2 top 25 teams coming together. A lot on the line for the Sooners. We want to invite everybody to come on out, 11 a.m. for kickoff. Be loud, be excited, because the Sooners need you. They need your voice.
I don't need to be challenging the fans again, do I?
Challenge them. Come on, challenge
like I did in 2008, I think it was.
That worked pretty well.
Yeah,
Ask Texas Tech.
Let's just do it without me having to challenge anybody.
There you go. All right, let's go Sooners. Let's win this game big and push on to that other big game Thanksgiving weekend against LSU. Remember, for videos anytime, just tap on our video link. For Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen saying, Boomer Sooner.